I'm Carla Cannon, and in this video, I'm going to explain IEW's 9 structural models, the basis of their whole curriculum. I'm going to explain what they are, why they're important, and how they are brilliant. I know, I get way too excited about this kind of stuff, but I love it. It's my nerdy English lover's heart. I went to university, got my education degree with a minor in English, and yet, when it came time to teach my own children how to write, it was hard. I couldn't break it down easily for them because it seemed intuitive to me. And that is one of the best things about IEW, is that it takes children through steps, through a process using their 9 structural models. So what are they? Well, I'm going to use this sheet here from the Teaching Writing with Style and Structure and Style. This is one of the handouts there. And I'm just going to kind of walk through it because it lays it out here. So the basis of the IEW curriculum is that it teaches children how to read information and take notes in what they call their keyword outline, how to make a usable outline that they can then write from. Right from the beginning, that's where they start. Then the remaining units take your child into story writing, paragraph writing, report writing, but it's important to know how they build upon each other. And it is more complex every time you go through it. In IEW, whether you buy their Structure and Style for Students programs, or if you buy a theme-based writing program, all of them I love, but any of them take your child through all 9 units. Unless they're young, then they stop at unit 7. So in almost all of the units, you are given a source text, which is something that the child reads, and then right from the beginning in unit 1, they learn how to make their keyword outline, and then in unit 2, they learn how to write from notes. So you can see here how they break that down. They read from the source text, they make their outline, and then they learn very quickly how to write from the notes that they made. The genius part of having a source text and then knowing how to make an outline from the beginning is it eliminates the biggest problem in writing with kids is, what do I say? What do I write? And it gives them what they're supposed to say. So they read it, they make their outline, they put the source text away, and then they know what to say. It breaks it down into a more manageable assignment for them because they are trying in their brain to put things into sentences and make sense and spell the words and add commas and punctuation, and it's a lot. No wonder writing is hard for our kids. So they have that source text, which that's what they're supposed to be writing. They make their notes, and then that is the foundation of IEW. Once they can do that, as you can see on my little handy chart here, notes right from their outline, then it moves in a sequential way through different types of writing. You have on one side, and it goes back and forth each month, it goes from the report, research, paragraphs, that type of writing, to the narrative, descriptive, more, kind of creative story side of writing. So once they learn how to make their outline and notes, it goes right into Unit 3. In Unit 3, they are learning how to retell a narrative story, which gives them the foundation for, when they're ready for it, writing their own story using the story sequence chart. So what you can do with the story sequence chart is you can retell, and we've tested this, any story, short or long, because it breaks it down into sections, into jobs of each paragraph. So paragraph number 1, no matter how big or short the story is, you are going to introduce your characters and your setting. You're going to say who's in this story, what they're doing, and you're going to set up what's happening. Give a little background. It's not just where it's taking place, but what's going on. Then, the job of paragraph number 2, you are going to explain the conflict. What is it that they want or need? What do they think? What do they say and do? That's the job of paragraph number 2. And that works for even complex problems, because even in a novel where you have many problems and many solutions, there's generally an overarching problem or goal that they're trying to achieve. So they can do that. And then the job of paragraph number 3 is you have the climax, the most exciting part of the story, the resolution, and then how is it resolved? What happens after? Is there a message or lesson? And how to wrap that up. So it can be tricky for children. I'll get comments where people get stuck on Unit 3. Don't worry about it. It's something they'll hit again in later years, because students move through all 9 of these units every year. That's how the program is set up, but it grows in complexity and understanding, so it doesn't have to be mastered the first time through. And I think that's really important to remember. If you happen to get stuck on Unit 3 going through IEW, I made 4 videos walking you through the story sequence chart and explaining it, because it is a common place people get stuck. If that happens to you, if you cannot move past it, don't worry about it. Just go on to Unit 4, because you probably have a child who doesn't love writing stories, and they will love Unit 4. It's one of my favorite units. So like I said, you go back and forth between different types of writing. So you've been over here on the narrative descriptive side with the story sequence chart in Unit 3, and then in Unit 4, you go to summarizing a reference. And this is a key unit, because we live in an information age. There is so much information, and it is a huge skill for our kids to know how to read an article, read a book, watch a YouTube video, and then assimilate all that into something that they could actually write, a paragraph. And how do you do that? So that's what Unit 4 does. It teaches them that, and they do it by giving you, once again, a structure. They teach kids how to have a topic sentence. That's what the topic of the paragraph is about. You have your clincher sentence, which wraps it up. It's like your closing. And then it teaches them, instead of trying to say everything about a topic, you pick keywords from facts, and you choose the things that are interesting and important and support your topic. So this is foundational in that all the other report type paragraphs follow, or units follow this. They have to have that how to form a good paragraph, and it's very useful. All right, as I mentioned, you spend about a month on each of the different units in all of IEW's programs. So they'll take you through these 9 different units, spending approximately a month on each one. So after Unit 4, over here on the report, research, essay side of things, you come back to the more narrative writing into Unit 5, which is writing from pictures. And so once again, you're using that story sequence chart. So like I said, if they didn't totally get it the first time, you come back to it. It's okay. And this time, instead of giving your child a story, the actual text of a story for them to retell, this time they are prompting them to write with pictures. And so it's that push towards more independence. And so here is the model for that. Same type of breakdown of the 3 paragraphs using the story sequence chart. And here it gives them pictures, different pictures depending on the program, of what they're going to base their story off of. And it's really fun because it gives them something to go on, but in this unit they can really make the assignment their own, because they are going to come up with, for every child, it's going to be a slightly different take on what the picture is. So that's a really neat one. Unit 6. So you get the idea at this point. You are now leaving the narrative type writing and you're coming back over to the reports, research, and essays in Unit 6. And Unit 6 is summarizing multiple references or sources, and it teaches them how, instead of just having a lot of information in one article or thing that they read, what do you do when you have a book, a website, and maybe a video that you've watched? How do you take all of that into one paragraph? Because that is a real world skill our kids are going to need. So it teaches them in Unit 6 how to have 3 different sources. You write down some key things from each source, and then you make your topic, because that's going to help you determine what is the most relevant information. You want things that support your topic. And then you pick and make one fused outline, and you write from this one. So that is Unit 6, and it is a little tricky when you have multiple sources, but it is really an important unit, and I love it. All right, Unit 7. So we're going back over to the more narrative side of writing. And Unit 7 is called Inventive Writing, kind of like creative writing, but with a few more guidelines. And what you do is, this is the first unit where they don't have any type of a source text or picture or anything else. And so they've had all this instruction up to this point, how to write without that awful blank face, blank page, frozen, I don't know what to write. So Unit 7 teaches them, when you're given a prompt, how can you train yourself to ask yourself questions and make an outline without feeling frozen and not knowing what to do. So this is Unit 7, and it also in this unit teaches them, so you have a subject, like for example, my dog for younger kids, and it teaches them how to find topics on each of those. And then it also teaches how to do an introduction and a conclusion on a topic or subject that they're already an expert on. So it makes it a little less scary learning how to make it more of a 5-paragraph project instead of a 3-paragraph project, or even just one. So that is what Unit 7 does, with the asking your brain questions, coming up with what to say based upon a prompt, and then how to make it longer with the introduction and the conclusion. So Unit 8 is back on the formal writing, and it is the formal essay model. And it teaches them how to do a 5-paragraph or longer, as they get older, essay on a subject. So they have their subject. So for example, you can see here, it was Samuel de Champlain was the subject, and then it teaches them once again how to find topics. So topic A, he was explorer; B, settler; C, soldier. And then they of course have to take all the skills that they've learned in the other units, and how to research, how to summarize, how to write a good paragraph, and then they write 3 paragraphs based on the subject and then the specific topic. And they take what they've learned in Unit 7 and they write their introduction and conclusion in order to get that 5-paragraph formal essay, which is then greatly expanded upon as you get further on into the program. I also wanted to add that it isn't until about that middle school grade 7 age that they add in units 8 and 9. It only goes up to unit 7 for the younger students. So that's perfect. But once they hit that middle school age range, then yes, they are hitting unit 8, the formal essay, and then the very final unit is back on the more narrative prompt-based writing side, and it is the formal literary critique. And this is critique on, a book or something like that, and it gives the introduction, you have your conclusion, but then it pulls from that story sequence chart. That's kind of why that story sequence chart is important, because it can talk about that book, that essay, whatever it is, whatever your student is critiquing, but they use that model of the character, setting, problem, the resolution and climax. They use that model to do their literary analysis. So that's how that one works. The reason I wanted to share this is because I think it's so genius. I think it's brilliant. And once I appreciated how these earlier units were being built upon to get your child to write that 5-paragraph research essay or that 5-paragraph literary critique, once I saw where it was going, it helped me understand the program that IEW lays out for you better and appreciate it more. And also, it made me relax a little bit in knowing that your child is going to go through those 9 units every year. Then if they don't totally get something, it's okay. They're going to hit it again and they will have a deeper understanding the next time through. So hopefully it helps you understand the program. I love that they provide the source text and build up to that unit 7 and give your child some skills before they're faced with the dreaded blank sheet of paper. They have to figure out what to say. So I think it's really clever. It's very systematic. Each layer builds upon the next, and every year it takes it to that next level of complexity. For more information on IEW's other curriculum and programs that they have, go ahead and check out my channel. I have lots of videos and reviews on those, and go ahead and click subscribe, as this is a topic that I really enjoy sharing about. Bye-bye.